given this graph, let's find the domain and the range. So for the domain, you have to look from left to right. So that means all of this is part of it, all the way to here, and then here you have to have a hole, because it's a vertical asymptote. Let's label this. This is a vertical asymptote, so it's a hole. Then you have to go from here over to here. Again, here there's a hole, and then you're going to skip over it and go forever towards positive infinity. So let's write the domain in interval notation. So the domain in interval notation look like the following. We just need a lot of room. I'll write it over here. So you're going to have going from negative infinity up to that value of, let's see, 1. And then you have to skip over the 1. So put a parentheses and then go from 1 up to 3. And then you're going to have to skip over the 3, so parentheses with it, U for union, and then go forever to positive infinity. So from 3 to positive infinity. And that's the interval notation version of the domain. Now, what happens with the range? We have to be a bit more careful. Well, first of all, notice something kind of important here. Let me stress it. I'll do it in pink. That here, there's always meant to be a gap in this position between the graph and the x-axis. Here, there's always a gap between the graph and the x-axis. What does that mean? That means that this value of, in other words, y is never equal to 0 on this end, and certainly y is never equal to 0 on that end. That it doesn't happen here because of these gaps. So that means you're gonna go as follows. You're gonna go from negative infinity up to 0 along the y-axis, but the 0 itself will have a hole present here. Now be very careful with that hole. So that hole is meant to be along the y-axis. It has nothing to do with the x-axis. All right. Then we have to skip over y equals 0. So this is y equals 0 right here. And then resume on the other side. Well, we can't resume here, right? Because you see the graph doesn't resume until y equals 1. So this part of it, this is not included for that reason. So let me redraw that. It's meant to be white, like this, you see? And then where we resume instead is at 1, and then it goes up forever up here towards positive infinity. So when you write the range, it's going to be as follows, like this. You're going to go from negative infinity up to 0, and then you're going to use U for union. You're going to skip past this little piece here, and then you're going to resume at positive 1. The positive 1 is included, so you're going to put a bracket 1, and then you're going to go up towards positive infinity. And that's how you do this question. Please leave a like if it's been helpful.